Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you being here, it means a lot. So if you're like me and you're concerned about throwing away your vote on a third-party candidate, I want to try to put your mind at ease for a second. So there are about 70,000 people who vote in Carmel, and of that 70,000, for a major turnout, for example, like a presidential election, this past midterm election, there are about 40,000 voters. That is significantly lower for a local odd-year election. So for example, the previous mayor election in 2019 only had about 15,000 people vote in the primary election, and in the general election, there were about 10,000 people that voted. So historically in Carmel, there are a lot more people who vote in the primary election than in the general, and I don't expect that to be too terribly different this particular go-around either. So with less than 13,000 people voting this past May, I expect there will probably be similar numbers this coming November. But in reality, there's probably going to be closer to about 10,000, maybe a little bit less, maybe more. Who knows? It's hard to say, but it's not going to be anywhere close to 10,000. It's probably going to be pretty comfortably right around that 10,000 mark. So in all cases, if there are about 4,000 to 5,000 votes for any one candidate, that would likely be a shoe-in. So for example, if my campaign were to get about 4,500 votes, that would likely get me elected. So every vote absolutely counts, every vote absolutely matters, and your vote absolutely will not be wasted. So if you're one of the conservatives that are really concerned about a Democrat getting into office, I also want to put your mind at ease about that. The core of his campaign and what he's running on, realistically, there's extremely little to nothing that he can do at all about the core of his campaign, which is largely, effectively, there's a group that he disagrees with ideologically, and they are speaking out on it, they're petitioning about it, they're assembling about it, and they're writing about it, all of which are protected under a First Amendment right: freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, freedom to petition. So as mayor, there's literally nothing at all that can be done about that whatsoever. Now, if there are a school board, and if that's something he was running for, then they absolutely can do something about groups like that, because ultimately the buck stops with school board. School boards are the ones who nominate the superintendent, and it's the superintendent of the school that dictates what goes on inside of the school itself. The only impact the city, mayor, city council, whomever would have on a school is if the school requests the city for infrastructure, so like an expansion on a wing, or if they're asking to further develop a new football field or soccer field or something like that. The city can look into their budget and see if that's something that they could admit to the school itself, because that is a physical property. It has nothing to do with what's being said in the classroom, has nothing to do with any school teacher's salaries or anything like that. So the only thing he could really do is to try to hold the school hostage over improvements and developments if he doesn't like something that's happening inside the school. But if the core of his campaign is all about schools and he denies the school funding, that will absolutely blow up in his face and will not age well for him at all. So even then, I mean, I don't know if a lot of conservatives that would be terribly upset about the school spending more of the city's money, but that's neither here nor there. If you're one of those conservatives that have that concern and that they're afraid that a Democrat's going to get in and destroy the school system, don't. There's, like I said, nothing that they can do, nothing that he can do involving the school system. So hopefully that puts your mind at ease. As far as anybody else is concerned, the core of my platform is basically, if you want to stop the overdevelopment and 5-story apartment buildings and just 5-story buildings in general popping up all over the city, I'm the only candidate that you've got as an option to stop that from happening. And that resonates with virtually everybody that I've talked to, which at this point has been a couple of thousand people, doors that I've knocked at this point. So it resonates with everyone, and it's a very, very popular message. And the biggest way to help spread the message is word of mouth and telling your other friends, family, neighbors. Social media is an absolutely amazing place to do stuff like that. If you have any social groups, or there's a party that you go to where everybody in the party is complaining about 5-story apartment buildings that are popping up everywhere. Literally, this is a conversation I had just 2 days ago. Then yeah, tell those people, let them know that there actually is an option, there is hope, there is a chance to stop all of that kind of stuff, and that's through me. So don't be afraid to vote for a third-party candidate. This could really, really help progress us towards a really, really positive future, not just for Carmel, but just to set a standard in general across the nation that we're kind of tired of like establishment candidates that are in it for themselves and don't have any real concern for the people. So anyway, that's all I've got. I really appreciate you stopping in. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And as always, stay classy. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.